On Ophelia, I've got some good news. We've got brand new data. The 11 o'clock data came out just a few minutes ago. This is fresh off the press. Check this out. Winds are down to 50 miles per hour. Continues to weaken very nicely. As you recall, we talked about earlier how the system moved inland near Carteret County, North Carolina, around 7 o'clock this morning. Emerald Isle was where the area or the center of circulation moved inland. And well, you've got Emerald Isle, you've got Morehead City, and also Atlantic Beach, all there in the Carteret County area. That's where it made landfall earlier this morning in this area, just about right here. At that time, it had sustained winds of 70 miles per hour. This thing really strengthened yesterday as it moved over the very warm waters of the Gulf Stream. And as it did, at one point we thought that it could become a Category 1 hurricane. The winds, sustained winds, would have to get up to 74 miles per hour. So it got real close, but thankfully it did not become a hurricane, but certainly a very strong tropical storm as it made landfall earlier this morning with those 70 mile per hour winds. Based on my interpolation, the storm prediction or the National Hurricane Center is saying 75 miles to the north-northwest of Cape Lookout. That would put it in the area around Greenville and Washington, North Carolina. That's where the center of circulation is with the 11 o'clock update. Tracking off to the north at 13 miles per hour. So the good news here, and with the next update that will come at 2 p.m. this afternoon, we'll see a continuation of weakening, and winds will be at that time even less than 50 miles per hour. But still a lot of rain, even though the winds are subsiding and the atmospheric pressure is going up. There is a ton of tropical moisture bringing heavy rainfall to areas of eastern North Carolina from Raleigh all the way down to the coast. And we'll have a better radar view coming up in just a minute. But we do have the updated forecast track that hopefully I can get my clicker here to work. If you'll excuse me just for a moment, I will re-rack my graphics and hopefully we'll be able to progress on. So I've had some clicker problems here in recent days, but we'll see if we can. There we go. This is the next graphic that I wanted to show you. The forecast track really hasn't changed except for the out in time version of this, where it's taking more of an easterly track and moving offshore, moving off the eastern shore of Maryland, but remaining a tropical storm, minimal tropical storm, as it moves up into the tidewater of Virginia later on this evening and tonight, and then just a remnant low as it tracks to the northeast and likely bending, at least forecast in this particular update, bending off to the east and tracking on out to sea. Been keeping an eye on the winds. We'll talk about the winds and then we'll talk about the rainfall. These are the current wind gusts. 22 mile per hour wind gust out at PTI. Burlington has had some impressive wind gusts this morning. Most recent wind gust at 31 miles per hour. Roxborough 30 miles per hour, 28 at Raleigh-Durham, 23 in Sanford, Siler City, and Asheboro. Some of the higher elevations having breezy wind gusts, but most areas, once you move west of Winston-Salem, not really much in the way of wind gusts. Wind gusts over eastern North Carolina, they're still up there, but they're not as strong in terms of strong wind gusts than what we've seen over the past couple of hours. Beaufort has a 38 mile per hour wind gust, and these are just recent. New Bern at 38, 24 mile per hour wind gust at Jacksonville, and 26 at Wilmington. As I've been talking about this morning, wind gust of 64 miles per hour over at Beaufort earlier this morning, and a 47 mile per hour wind gust in the port city of Wilmington. So we'll continue to see these. It's going to remain quite windy down east today and rather breezy here in the Piedmont, but the strongest winds associated with this system are pretty much over with for sure. Now, the maximum wind gusts that we've had for today since midnight, we had a 36-mile-per-hour wind gust out at PTI. Burlington, once again, some wind gust in Alamance County. Highest wind gusts for Burlington so far today, 43-mile-per-hour wind gust, 38 over at Raleigh-Durham. Danville earlier this morning had a 40-mile-per-hour wind gust, 30-mile-per-hour wind gust over in Winston-Salem. Again, although it's going to be quite breezy for the afternoon and even into the evening hours, the wind gust will not be as strong as they have been as Ophelia continues to weaken. Let's look at rainfall totals for Friday. Of course, the outer bands of the system started to move inland around midday on coastal North Carolina, giving Cape Hatteras over 3.5 inches of rain yesterday, and Wilmington got 1.32 inches of rain. The western band of the outer bands, the rain associated with those bands, did not work into the triad for the calendar day yesterday. We got our rain since midnight, and we've had nearly 4/10 of an inch of rain out at PTI, and we had talked about and predicted that we would get around 1/2 of an inch of rain here in the immediate triad, and boy, rain really drops off west of Winston-Salem. As a matter of fact, nothing more than just a spotty light shower and a few sprinkles out over the foothills. But Danville has racked up 0.51 inches of rain. Raleigh-Durham, with a band of heavier rain moving through that area right now, has already for today racked up just under an inch of rain. And we continue to see the swirl in the precipitation. Again, estimating that the center of circulation is near Greenville and Washington, North Carolina. Of course, Greenville in Pitt County. And you see these green polygons here. This is where we have active flash flood warnings. Warning means that that particular threat is actually occurring. So these areas, and you can see the yellow and orange coloring here, not severe weather in this area, but certainly some very heavy downpours, very tropical downpours leading to the areas of flash flooding in eastern North Carolina. I think one good thing about this system is that we've only had one and that occurred earlier this morning. A tornado warning was near Elizabeth City in northeastern North Carolina. Haven't heard of an actual tornado. It was just a warning, so there was rotation within a thunderstorm that was moving through that area. But we have been very void of severe weather, and I think that's a great thing. This band moving through Raleigh continues to track to the east. Burlington, although this is weakening, Burlington will get some rain in the next 30 minutes or so, and within the next hour, some of this light rain will move into our part of the Piedmont. It's heavy, of course, down east, but as the bands propagate to the west, they weaken, so we just basically get light rain and drizzle. Severe weather threat still for the Tidewater area of Virginia. We never had a severe weather threat here in the Piedmont because the temperatures are so chilly. Upper 50s to near 60. I'm forecasting a high today of 63. I think we can make it, but we'll continue to see spotty light rain and drizzly conditions, and it'll remain breezy. We couldn't rule out another 25, 30-mile-per-hour wind gust. And then areas of light rain or drizzle, mainly drizzle, I think, overnight. 57 for the overnight low. It's going to get much better. Yeah, this system moves away. High pressure builds in. We dry out the atmosphere. And after being quite chilly and damp today, Sunday's a whole different world. Sun and clouds, and we're on our way to the mid-70s, still maybe a little breezy. And then on Monday, we're looking at high temperatures into the upper 70s. A system may head our way and bring a shower chance by midweek. Extra clouds hold temperatures near 70 by Wednesday and Thursday. Stay with me. I'm continuing to track the storm, and we'll have a fresh new update coming up at high noon. Have a great day, everyone.